tropical versus sidereal in someone's astrological chart. You may not have even heard of those words. I know I hadn't until a couple of years ago. But basically, tropical is 90 plus percent of the information you're going to hear or read about out there about astrology comes from the tropical way of pulling the data. So basically, these two things are just like, how do I pull the data for someone's chart? Now, the first time I heard the word tropical is I was taking an astrology course, and when they were showing us how to pull the data, they just said, click on tropical. So that's the first time I heard the word tropical. Didn't know what it meant, though. And then I went down and got a reading around that same time. Went down and got a reading from a person, and it was a really good reading. Just everything about it just hit the nail on the head. And it took me a couple of days, but I looked at the sheet of paper that she gave me, and there was just like so much on there I didn't understand because I was just first learning about this. But what I did see is it said my sun is in Sagittarius. And I'm like, what? I'm a Capricorn. I mean, my birthday lies between this date and that date. Like, I have to be a Capricorn. Why is this saying I'm a Sagittarius? So I learned enough through this astrology course to then, I mean, it took me a whole day, but I kind of reverse engineered it until I got the numbers that she got on the sheet of paper that she gave me. Then afterwards, I saw on there that she was using a sidereal pole, and I was like, okay. I should have said, but I didn't know what that word meant when I started all this. Basically, and I won't be able to technically explain sidereal because I've read it in many different places, and I still don't totally understand it, but again, like I said, tropical is the stuff that it's just like Western astrology. It's most of the stuff you're going to hear about that. This is how they generate that data using a tropical pole, we'll just say. Sidereal takes into account the tilt of the earth. So that's, like I said, that's all I can do to explain that. I don't know exactly how that works. I just know that I resonate so much more with the sidereal way of pulling my chart than the tropical. Because yes, I thought I was a Capricorn, in looking at my birth date, but I never felt like a Capricorn. I just thought, well, is this something I'm going to grow into or something? I just don't have a lot of Capricorn traits. And when I started learning this, I mean, everything made more sense in the sidereal way of it's just generating data, but the sidereal way of generating the data for my chart than the tropical. However, I did a social media post on this, and a lot of people were saying, yeah, I mean, I did this, but I still resonate more with the tropical. And that may be the case because I also did a comparison on my ex-boyfriend's chart, and he was really hard. I couldn't really pick a side. I mean, I know his personality pretty well, and I couldn't pick a side. He had a mix of both. So you may really resonate still with your tropical pole, or the sidereal makes a lot of sense, or you could have a combination of some things in there. And when it comes to the sidereal way of generating the data, now with the tropical, there's only one way to do it. You just pick tropical and that's it. Sidereal, because it takes into account like the tilt of the earth and stuff, there's other ways, even under the sidereal umbrella, that you can generate your data. I figured out the one that this person used to give me my reading. So that is one of the things that is under the sidereal umbrella. And then there's another one that's closely connected to that one. So you can kind of play around with those two. I suggest like those two to play around with under the sidereal umbrella. And I can show you how to do that, even if you're not an astrology expert. I'll just walk you through the link to my website. I could do that on my website, but the link is in the description. So I can walk you through how to calculate or how to pull your sidereal chart. And then you can kind of compare, Or if you don't really know what you're looking at, because if you've never seen one of those before, it's a lot. It's hard to take in. You don't know what it all means. Then, if you want me to pull your chart for you and then give you a full reading on not just your sun, moon, and rising, but all of the planets in there, then I can do that. But you can find both of those things on my website. So have fun. Either way, it's going to be interesting.